I think Caleb Williams has now kind of become the consensus top guy. He seems almost certainly going to get drafted at number 1 to Chicago. How good do you think he is relative to, the last several draft classes? Because I think the last couple of weeks, that started to become the conversation, right? He's now getting some of that Trevor Lawrence talk of the best prospect since.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably not a great guy to ask because I think I had Justin ahead of Trevor. But, I love Caleb Williams' game. I mean, I feel like, I know people over the course of the summer, had he and Drake May kind of more in a neck-to-neck type situation, I would say, if you would talk to people who actually had already watched the film.
Right.
I just think Caleb brings a more robust set of skills immediately into an NFL team. And so he can do the dynamic thing for sure. He's got all the clubs as far as the arm talent. I think when you turn on the film, you do have to be a little bit wary of just the way he protects the ball. Now, is that how he plays, or is that how they let him play? And so it'll be a combination of things. I would imagine that stuff gets polished up quicker in the Sunday game, just because the ball security is such a priority, and he won't have to hopefully play, the hero ball, every single third down, in the fall. But those types of things definitely are a concern when you turn on the film and you just see how he carries it. If I'm noticing it, every NFL defensive line coach is noticing it. Every unit will be, going after it, those types of things. And then you talk about him holding onto the ball and, that being kind of an issue in Chicago that they've had to deal with over the last couple of years. I personally think it's a little bit different with his ability, what he's doing when he's holding onto the ball. I don't think it's necessarily apples to apples as far as what Justin was doing holding onto the ball. And so Caleb's ability to kind of create in the pocket and stay alive and be that guy who can buy time and reset and still deliver the ball down the field is a different skill set than I would say what they were dealing with Justin and holding onto the ball in Chicago. So, those types of things. But if you're a Chicago Bears fan, man, and you get an opportunity to draft Caleb Williams, you're going to be pretty damn excited.
I think because of the success of Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar, some of the other quarterbacks who can do special stuff off schedule over the last 7 or 8 years, it's like, okay, that's when you see that, like Caleb Williams' natural playmaking ability is out of this world. But then you go back and say, okay, for Mahomes to become Mahomes, for Allen to become Allen, for Lamar to become Lamar, they had to win from the pocket within structure and do some stuff where Caleb Williams doesn't do it often relative to others in the class maybe. What are your thoughts on that, his development? Can he win within structure? What does he need to learn maybe to get to superstardom that maybe some of these other guys have achieved?
I'm sure there'll be a growth curve for what he's asked to do, but I push back a little bit to the thing that he can't win within the pocket. I think when you turn on the film, there is evidence of him consistently, when he has time and he's got the capacity to work through a read, to be on time within the pocket. I think things get overshadowed when you make so many Superman ridiculous throws and you are so explosive outside the pocket. But I think he showed that he certainly can play within the structure of that system. The other thing about it is that system. Okay, now I'm someone, again, I've already said my bias, Southern California guy. I really like the Lincoln Riley system. I liked it a little, probably even better in Oklahoma when it was a little bit more gap-centric too with what they were doing in the run game. For whatever reason, the run game feels like it's not the same yet quite at USC, whether that's, upfront talent or whatever. It just felt like he was asked to play a little bit different when he got to USC versus what they were doing. Kind of the guys who, what I mean by that is comparing like the Hurts, Kyler, Baker in that system to be able to play a little bit more on schedule with what they were doing at Oklahoma versus what they've been able to do at USC.
Do you? My one question about that offense, though, it felt like they didn't have great blitz answers last year versus previously. Do you agree, disagree?
I mean, I definitely, the outcome, the execution of it looked the same. I can't imagine it wasn't the same. I would say that, again, I'm not a certified guy in that system, but I will say that the talent that Caleb was playing with around him didn't look the same as maybe it's looked at in previous years at USC, whether that's up front and on the perimeter. And I think they just got exploited, and he felt like, and again, I'm just projecting, but watching his play looked like he felt like he had to make so many plays that sometimes he got out of there and created maybe a little bit earlier than he probably should have.
So is that how you explain away the sort of uptick in his, I guess, big mistakes last year, right? It sort of felt he was on this Patrick Mahomes trajectory for a little bit where it was like he's able to do these things that you're not supposed to do. And the thing that makes Mahomes special is he's always getting away with them. Like almost never when he throws back across his body with a ridiculous arm angle into traffic, it doesn't end up getting picked off. He's the one guy that's been able to make it work all the time. And Caleb Williams was that guy up until last year. And then last year he started to get it caught up with him a bit. And there were a lot of those plays where, you know, he's throwing into he's doing the thing you're not supposed to do and it gets picked off this time.
I mean, I don't want to be here and feel like I'm an apologist for him, but I will say that it's a different feeling playing quarterback or being tethered to an offense when you feel like every game is a race to 50.
Yeah.
You know, and you know you're going to have to score a certain amount of points to be successful, you know, especially in that conference. That conference was really great last year. And so it was, you know, it felt like you're playing basically a basketball game every single week out there. And so you do probably have to push it a little bit harder than you'll have to push it on a Sunday week in to week out basis. But yeah, I think I can't disagree, Sam, with what you're saying as far as when you turn on the film from year to year to see kind of how he played, it definitely felt looser, a little bit more erratic at times with him being able to pull some of those things off.